Hi everyone, this is AJ and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be reviewing a new film for you today, that being the new Netflix movie Red Notice. Yes, so let's get into it. Okay, so Red Notice has just dropped on Netflix. Last night I thought I'd sit down, I'd watch it. It's got an intriguing cast, premise isn't too bad, so what can go wrong? So anyway, this film has been directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber, who has previously worked on films such as Skyscraper with Dwayne Johnson. He directed We're the Millers, comedy film, Jennifer Aniston, and this film sees him again working with Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson stars as a character called John Hartley. Dwayne Johnson is joined by Ryan Reynolds as a character named Nolan Booth, and also Gal Gadot as a character called the Bishop. All people we know from the superhero community. Yes, Dwayne Johnson will soon be playing Black Adam. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds has been the Green Lantern and Deadpool, and Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman. So yeah, you can't get a film now without watching the cast and saying she's from that superhero film, he's from that superhero film. Yeah, same goes this. So this film runs just shy of 2 hours long and was working with a £160 million budget, or $160 million budget, sorry I should say. So the premise of the film sees an FBI profiler working with Interpol trying to track down the world's greatest art thief. World's Greatest Art Thief is played by Ryan Reynolds. Dwayne Johnson is the FBI profiler. Yeah, so I can't really go too much into the story of this film, but basically it revolves around Ryan Reynolds attempting to steal these 3 eggs. They're the MacGuffin of the film. They're Egyptian eggs that were bestowed upon Cleopatra and were buried with her and this sort of thing. And the 3 eggs got separated, have been found separated, and this other wealthy Egyptian fella wants them all to give to his daughter, also named Cleopatra, as a wedding present. That's the sort of backstory, that part. Not that they really come into play or anything like that. So the film jumps from continent to continent, country to country, in this chase to find these eggs and this sort of thing. Gal Gadot plays the Bishop, who's another art thief, who's also on the trail of the eggs, and lastly, that's your film essentially. Like I said, I don't really want to go too much into spoiler territory because there's twists, there's turns, character motivations change, this sort of thing. It needs to be seen. And me saying anything more than that will spoil the sort of narrative of the film. So the film itself plays a bit like a Mission Impossible film, I suppose, and then moves into sort of Indiana Jones territory, in that they end up in a jungle, historic Nazi stuff's involved, and hidden treasure that the Nazis had, this sort of thing. Car chases in old that sort of era vehicle, all this sort of stuff going on, So, like I said, it's quite a busy film. Like I said, it jumps from continent to continent and this sort of thing. It goes to loads of exotic locations. So, the film itself, what did I think of it? I had a good time with it. I enjoyed the film. I found some of the camera work to be rather annoying. Especially at the beginning. There's an action set piece on being chased through a museum that ends up on some scaffolding, and it's filmed in such a way that for me started to give me a sort of motion sickness vibe. Very shaky cam, this sort of thing I didn't really like. Yeah, the film flows well enough. 2 hours pass by pretty quick. The film doesn't get boring. But I think that's primarily because of the 2 leads, because of Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds. They're fantastic together. Ryan Reynolds gives a very amusing performance. They work well off of one another. But if you took that out of the equation for the film, I think the film would be very flat and very boring. It's primarily these 2 characters and the journey you go on with them, and the laughs you have from their interaction and you know, Ryan Reynolds obviously ad-libbing through the film, them using the best cuts for that. Yeah, the special effects look fine. They look, you know, you can tell CGI from realistic. But for the most part, the untrained eye, you wouldn't see it anyway. But it flows very well. It's got a fantastic cast. Gal Gadot is very good in it. Although, to be honest, you could take her out of it and you'd still get the same level of enjoyment just because of Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson playing off of one another. That's primarily what you're going to go into this film for, and I think that's primarily what you'll get out of the film is those two, because they're on par. I mean, they're both very good. They're both very charismatic. Okay, Ryan Reynolds used to be box office poison, but since Deadpool, he's had a bit of a turnaround, you know what I mean? And Dwayne Johnson's always been very charismatic himself in films since he first stepped out of the arena and into the movie arena. He's always had a good on-screen presence. So the film benefits from the both of them, primarily from just the both of them. I would recommend watching the film. It's not a bad time. It's quite amusing. It's very good. So yeah, so there's a quick review just for this film, Red Notice. Go watch it. Let me know your thoughts and yeah, enjoy. Anyway, this is AJ. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care all and goodbye.